In this video, we're going to talk about finding horizontal tangent lines. So, does this given curve have any horizontal tangent lines? And if so, where? So, we have to decode this, right? What does a tangent line tell us? So when we think about this tangent line, the tangent line, we can determine the slope if we find the derivative, right? So if I find the derivative, that means I would know the slope of the tangent line. And what do we know about a horizontal line? A horizontal line has a slope of 0. So this means the slope of the tangent line equals 0. And we find the slope of the tangent line by finding the derivative. So I'm going to take the derivative of my function. I'm going to use my new rules. The derivative of y with respect to x is 4x cubed minus 4x. All right, I used my power rule on both of those. The derivative of 2 is 0, and I don't need to write that. So at this point, if we want to know if we have any horizontal tangent lines, that means I'm going to take that derivative and let it be equal to 0. So this means I'm solving my derivative equal to 0. On the right side of my equation, I can factor out a 4x, which leaves me with x squared minus 1. And this factors a little further, 4x, that's a difference of squares, x plus 1, x minus 1. So solving this, we would say yes, at x equals 0, negative 1, and positive 1. Because if I let each of these factors be equal to 0, 4x equal to 0 gives me 0. X plus 1 equal to 0 gives me this negative 1. And x minus 1 equal to 0 gives me positive 1. All right, so yes, the curve has 3 horizontal tangent lines, and they occur at x equals 0, x equals negative 1, and x equals positive 1. And just to help you think about this, let's consider what the graph of my function looks like. So if I were to graph my original function, x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 2, I would get a graph, very symmetric, looks roughly like this. And we would notice that these points are occurring at negative 1, right here, 1, and 0. So at all of those points, if I were to try and draw a tangent line, it would have a horizontal slope, rather a slope of 0. And we connect this a little bit further. We use this a lot to find where maxes and mins are. We set the derivative equal to 0, but we don't get to that till a little further on. So I hope this helps you understand a question of this type. If you're asked to find where a curve has a horizontal tangent line, that means you're taking the derivative and setting it equal to 0. Those x values are going to give you the points where the tangent line has a slope of 0 or is horizontal.